Okay, so as guitar players, we all love pentatonic scales, and we use them, to no end in our soloing and improvising, which is great. But we hardly ever use them in the context of comping or building chord voicings around them, And typically, what we do is in our thinking, we build seventh chords from the root up, which is fine. But there is a whole world of sounds to explore that are very easy and accessible by harmonizing notes within a pentatonic scale. So that's what this next concept is all about. We're going to start very easy and just check out the notes in a C major pentatonic scale to start with. Now keep in mind that C major pentatonic is the same as A minor pentatonic, just starting on a different note. So you can think of those two pentatonic scales as inversions of the same pentatonic scale, okay? So just for a quick overview, we'll start with a C, third fret A string in this case, and we'll just go through the notes within a C major pentatonic. We have C, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and back to 1. Okay, it sounds great as a scale, and it also sounds great when you stack those on top of one another for a variety of reasons. One reason is that compared to the major scale, a pentatonic scale removes the fourth and the seventh degrees, essentially creating the tritone. So what that means is it'll always sound good. Like any chord voicing that you play won't have any dissonance. It'll just be entirely consonant, and in the right moment, that just nothing will sound better than that. Another reason why they sound interesting compared to, say, just normal triads or diatonic triads or seventh chords is that the skip that happens between the third and the fifth degree of the scale and the sixth and the octave, right, that leap here, creates some interesting intervals when you start harmonizing it, and that's what we're going to see now. So what we're going to do is just start with a real basic three-note triad and harmonize the major pentatonic scale. So many of you have probably done this harmonizing a major scale, and that results in diatonic triads. For example, we would have C major, our 2 chord is D minor, 3 chord is E minor, F, and that's a great sound. But check out what happens when we start harmonizing the notes of C major. If we start with our C major triad, when we build the chord on the second degree, this is what happens. Because there's no F in that scale, the second note, E, immediately jumps up to a G. So low to high, we have D, G, A. Now all of a sudden we have more like a sus4 structure, which is really interesting. We take it to the next scale degree, E, and then we have, it's basically, you can think of that as a second inversion A minor triad. That's fine. I'm just thinking of it as a sound within C major or A minor pentatonic. Then we keep moving it up, and we have another sus4 type of figure. We continue to move that up, and we get this. It's a really beautiful sound. And then we're home to our root position C major. So while there are a couple of familiar triads within that pattern, we have C major and A minor, we also have these other kind of sus4 structures that are really nice. And they're pretty easy to play once you get a handle on them, and you can use those as harmonized lines, which is a really nice effect. So another starting place that you can check out just to look at the variety of harmony, you could start with a 6-9 sound, so you have 1, 3, 6, or just a major 6 sound. But this will work over a 6-9 or a major 7 or a major 9 chord, any of those. And then we continue to the next chord, and it's all built in fourths. So it's really nice, the structures themselves change within that same scale. And again, this is also A minor pentatonic, so these will also work for A minor chords, A minor triad, A minor 7, A minor 9. You could take any form, even if you like the sound of, for example, some seconds in the voicing. You could start off, for example, by playing this voicing, C, D, G. and then just take that up through the scale. So the next voicing would be also kind of a sus2 structure. Then that gets into just a triad. So there's all kinds of sounds waiting to be explored in that. So in our etudes, we're going to take a look at not only how to harmonize these pentatonic chords and play all the different inversions using the pentatonic scale, but also how to apply those over a 2-5-1 context. And the basic concept is this. If we have a 2-5-1 in a major key, let's say, for example, we have the chords D minor 7 to G7 to C major, what we could do is just basically play C major pentatonic chord voicings over that entire 2-5-1 progression, and it'll sound really great. And the way to justify it, so to speak, would be the A minor pentatonic is the same as C major pentatonic. That will work as sort of an upper structure triad substitution over D minor, and also G7, and it will be right at home over the G major. So what we're going to do now is pull up some backing tracks, and I'm going to play over just a real simple 2-5-1 in the key of C, and I'm just going to stick with some chord voicings that are built from the C major pentatonic scale. So let's pull up the backing track and take a listen.
Snippets, take 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Of course, that's just scratching the surface. If we want to get some variety in sound and especially create some tension and resolution between the movement from the 5 and the 1 chord, we can mix pentatonic scales. So a great entry point is to start off with C major pentatonic, or we can even think of it as A minor pentatonic, even better. We're going to use chords built on the A minor pentatonic scale over the D minor 7, the 2 chord, in any key, but in this case C. And then what we're going to do is move up a half step and play B flat minor pentatonic ideas or chord structures over the G7. It's going to give us a G7 altered sound. And then we can move up yet another half step playing B minor pentatonic ideas, which is the same as D major pentatonic ideas, over C major 7. And that's going to give us kind of a really nice Lydian sound. So again, for 2-5-1 in this case, D minor 7 to G7 to C, we're going to play A minor pentatonic, B flat minor pentatonic, and B minor pentatonic, just moving up in half steps. So let's pull up the backing tracks and I'll show you what I mean.
Snippets, take 1. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.